Hi, Brian. Sorry about technical problems earlier. I decided to spend a bit more time on the technical challenge. Because of that, I don't know how useful this is. I know the main point was to sort of see how we partner and collaborate, and hopefully you got a good sense of that. But I figured it couldn't hurt to spend just a little bit more time on this this morning, kind of so you can kind of see the direction I was taking it in. Try not to spend too long on it, maybe half an hour or so, and a lot of it was AI in the background, and I haven't really spent much time refining that, which means the code. I'll throw the repo up onto GitHub and send you the code, but it's typical AI code, very bloated, very large abstractions, lots in single files and components, and that's usually one thing that I try and steer the AI towards wherever possible, is kind of limiting those down and clearing those up, just so there isn't everything's not too bloated. But this is where I got to. I've got a list of my surveys. I've got one already. We can create a new one. Some validation there going on. Another survey, although that's by no means complete. And we can add some questions. I did add one thing we didn't discuss in the interview was an ordinal on the questions, which I added. I figured you want to be able to control the questions, the order of the questions, and also the order of the options. So you can drag and drop these. So if I want to put the second one first for whatever reason, I can pull that up there, and I can also pull this one up here. Not quite as polished as I would like, but again, this is what the AI gave me out of the box, and I didn't want to spend too much time on it. You can save the survey, and then back to surveys, and then you can see it's updated in there. So this one hasn't got a preview because it's not been published yet. So let's go back into there. We've got our preview button. I added a publish button. I added a published at field to the survey, so I can publish that. And now the view's updated. My questions are locked now. I can't make any changes. Can still make changes to the title, and save that. And then the other thing I can do is, I thought about briefly, was like, how do we generate these response links? So we can just put emails in here, and it will generate me some links, and I can copy these out and put them in here, and now I can do my answers and submit my survey. There's also a button here that will take you straight there. This is hard coded to my email address, but I would see this once you got authentication on this layer. You could use the current user's email address to generate that link. Although you probably have some sort of flag running so that you know that if they did respond to it, they could go through test a survey, but they, that response is tagged as like a test response, and it isn't actually included in the final data. The response links, again, this is just what I imagine to be like the simplest implementation for purposes of this challenge, but ultimately, probably integrate this into your CRM or your mail system or whatever, so you can send these out with a one click rather than having to drop emails in. At the very least, rather than displaying a list of response links, maybe have a export to CSV with each email and the link, and then you can import that into your mail app as a single thing rather than having to do each one individually. I didn't get to viewing any of the data, but you can see in my database that I've got the responses that I just put in for each response ID, and then the survey responses are linked up to the user in question. The users are being automatically created as they come in. So that was that. Hopefully this is helpful. Like I say, I'll shoot you the repo and you can see the code, but it's typical AI generated code. It's not too pretty. Certainly not my proudest work, but like I say, I wanted to stick to the kind of concept of the original interview. All right, thanks, Brian.